What?
Dirt.
You want a story about dirt?
Yeah, that flew.
Dirt that flies?
Yes.
That's weird.
just make up the whole story.
Okay, let me find something.
That is funny. And try to make funny parts too.
Okay, funny parts.
Or
I got it. Dirt that flies, and it's funny. You're making the stories very challenging. So, this happened one night in the middle of the woods. A couple of friends, actually it was like 5 of them, decided to go out camping. This is going to be a very short story, okay? And so they got to their campground, which was at the foot of a very, very large mountain. And they decided to set up tent there, and they went for a little hike and what have not, and then they prepared dinner, and it was almost time for night. And they were sitting by the fire, and suddenly uh, they started smelling like somebody farted. And it was 5 of them, and everybody thought that it was somebody else because none of them farted. But they didn't want to seem impolite, so they didn't say anything. And they just let it go. And they were just talking about life, about girls, about cars, about whatever. And suddenly, and there was no sound, by the way. But again, terrible, terrible smell like somebody farted. But this time, it was very, very bad. And they all looked at each other around the fire, like, who was it? But nobody said anything because everybody thought it was someone else, and they didn't want to make anybody else feel bad. So they decided to call it a night before anybody got hurt with those terrible farts, and went to sleep. Now, they had 2 different tents. 3 slept on one tent and 2 slept on the other. Um, and the one that had the 2 people had a little more extra space, so that's where they left some of their luggage. The rest was in the car, and they were just sleeping away. Middle of the night, suddenly they hear. And suddenly everybody woke up and got out of their tents, and they were like, ew, okay, let's settle this right now. Whoever is farting has to go and sleep in the car. We cannot deal with this anymore. Ew, it stinks in here, please, said one of the friends. And everybody looked at each other like waiting to see who was going to raise their hand and said, I'm sorry, it was me, but nobody did. And so one of the friends said, that's it. Either somebody confesses and goes to sleep in the car, or I am going to go sleep in the car so I don't have to smell your farts anymore. And another guy say, no, wait, I didn't fart. I'm going to go sleep in the car. And the other one said, I didn't fart either. All right, so it's one of you two, said the other. No, it wasn't me, said one. And everybody looked at the last one and said, sorry to disappoint you guys, but I didn't fart. And suddenly they heard again. And now this time they realized the sound wasn't coming from any of them. But alas, ew, it stinks so bad. Ew. But now that half the mystery was solved, they realized they had another mystery on their hands. Who was it? Who had been farting? And so they decided to go investigate. The sound seemed to be coming from the side of the mountain. They all grabbed their flashlights and they went and got closer and closer. The smell started getting worse and worse. It smelled like rotten eggs,
Ew.
Yes, ew, totally ew. Until one of the guys said, guys, stop. We have to get out of here right now. Run. What? The farting ghost is coming to get you? No, this is no joke. This is a volcano. The smell. We were not farting. It's sulfur. It's coming from the earth. We have to get out. This thing could explode any moment. And so everybody took off running and they started disassembling the tents. And the guy that had told everybody said, no time, just grab your backpacks and leave the tents here and let's get out of here. If tomorrow everything is fine, we'll come back for the tents. And so they get out of there. And it's no sooner they were about halfway through when they heard the biggest fart of their lives. It was more than a fart, it was like an explosion. And in the rearview mirror, there was dirt flying everywhere. It was like the volcano was blowing up and dirt started falling on top of their truck, almost breaking the glass. They stepped on the accelerator and they were as fast as they could, running and running and running until they got as far away as they could. And it turns out they found out the next day that their tents didn't make it. Their tents were completely smashed by dirt that came out flying from under the mountain. And that's the story of how a fart saved the life of these 5 friends. The end.
So then, what was that noise?
It was the mountain about to erupt, the volcano about to erupt. It was gases coming from inside the mountain.
Oh.
So, you wanted a story about dirt that flies and that is funny? There you go.
I wanted the whole part.
Well, and I promised you a short story, so now it's time to go night night. Good night.